Coming up on AgweekTV, farmers are starting to hit the fields as the 2016 growing season begins. Experts are saying 2016 will be a make or break year for many farmers. And we'll show you the highly specialized work of an equine dentist. Hello, welcome to AgweekTV. I'm Shauna Olson. Our crew has been out and about up and down the valley looking for farmers in the fields, and so far in the Southern Valley, we found only a handful of growers out seeding wheat. Right here in the Hickson area, we found the Nipsteads. Let's go check it out and see how they're doing. Scott Nipstead farms with his dad near Hickson, North Dakota. He says they're usually one of the first to hit the fields in this area.
Well, it's heavier ground, but it seems like the frost goes out of this sooner, so we can get going.
He says conditions are near perfect, and so far they're off to a good start. He says they got in early last year also, but says they're better off right now than they were last year at this time.
We had everything in by Easter last year, so once it's dry and fit, it seems like we get going out here. So yeah, it's maybe a little early.
By the end of this day, they'll have about 1,000 acres of wheat in the ground.
For the most part, we got the fertilizer down last fall, so we're just seeding right in now.
Nice.
So we don't have to waste any moisture.
He started seeding early last week, but wet weather slowed him down. He says he can make up time quickly, covering about 300 to 400 acres a day with this equipment. Down the road, CW Valley Co-op is on the move, spreading fertilizer.
It's a little bit of everything. A little nitrogen, phosphate, and potash.
Curtis Slock has been with the company for about 24 years. This is his first day out this season and his second field.
This is early. This is pretty early. We're usually another week or so from now is when we start. But with the not having a lot of snow and stuff like that and the moisture, the ground's pretty dry.
He says the busy season is about to begin with 14 to 16-hour days. He says by the end of the planting season, his company based out of Wolverton, Minnesota, will have covered around 30,000 acres with fertilizer with 4 running floaters. The Nipsteads raise wheat, sugar beets, and soybeans and plan to stick with their usual rotation this year. Officials with the proposed hog farm near Buffalo, North Dakota, say they're moving forward despite public opposition. The vice president of Pipestone Holdings says they're working with the health department to get the required permits for Rolling Green family farms. Opponents fear the operation could cause environmental damage and other problems, but Sean Simpson says the project meets all state regulations. He says they're investing millions of dollars into it.
We have every confidence that what we're going to build is going to be there for a long period of time. On top of that, we have every economic incentive to be there for a long time. If we build a facility that we know is not going to stand the test of time, that's not a good economic investment.
The operation will house about 9,000 hogs. The company says it's a good location, far enough from other hogs, but close to a good workforce. It would supply piglets to about 15 feeding operations in Iowa, South Dakota, and Minnesota. Slow ag markets are leaving farmers, lenders, and agribusinesses in a tough predicament. The Fargo-Moorhead-West Fargo Chamber of Commerce hosted a panel discussion on the challenges of the local ag market. Reporter Tracy Frank was there in Moorhead. Tracy, what did you find out?
Shauna, panelists say 2016 will be a make or break year for some producers. Lynn Paulson, Bell State Bank's Director of Agribusiness Development, says there's still a lot of strength in agriculture, but producers who only did okay during the super cycle between 2006 and 12 are likely having problems now. He says there isn't any business that can handle such steep profit losses for an extended period of time, and there isn't the government support there once was for ag. So he says farmers need working capital to get through difficult times, and they need to pay attention to changing consumer demands as more companies pledge to process their foods with non-GMO ingredients.
I think the farm farmer needs to recognize that that's a trend that's not going away, and it can be a threat or an opportunity. We have producers that grow non-GMO products right now that are getting a significant premium to GMO products. Now it takes more management, maybe less yields, that type of thing, but the consumer is going to drive everything.
Mike Kruger, president of the Money Farm, a grain marketing advisory service, says there's been lots of chatter about high prices killing rural demand. But he says the issue has...
The problem is that we've had 3 record world crops in a row, and high prices did bring more land into production. It did bring more expansion of technology to other parts of the world in terms of better seed, better use of fertilizer, and so on. So it's not a demand problem, it's a production problem.
Kruger says the odds are slim for having a 4th record year of world production.
Up next on AgweekTV, the dairy industry may be down, but some experts are saying it's a good time to expand the export market.
How did we become the region's largest independent seed company? By taking a very simple but powerful stand. We will sell no seed that we wouldn't be happy to plant on our own farm. Peterson Farm Seed. Stand tall.
I'm home. Coming home from a hard day's work is usually when the real fun begins, and that's okay. After all, spending time with those who matter most is why you work so hard in the first place. At Home of Economy, your work gear headquarters, you'll find top-selling brands like Carhartt, known for comfort, durability, and a style and fit for everyone. Whether you need workwear, casual wear, or anywhere in between, find your Carhartts at the guaranteed lowest price. Only at Home of Economy, where your dollar buys more.
Where do you go for the latest news in agriculture? Agweek Magazine. Reaching over 30,000 farmers and ranchers in North Dakota, Minnesota, South Dakota, and Montana. Agweek provides the most up-to-date information on the markets, the trends, and the people who make it all happen. We're your source for news, not fluff. Dependable, trusted, Agweek. Subscribe today by calling 1-800-811-2580.
The North Dakota Soybean Council invests checkoff dollars to increase soybean demand, increase yields, and open new markets. The soybean checkoff has resulted in stronger prices and higher yielding varieties. Checkoff dollars fund research to bring solutions to farmers' greatest production challenges. Global demand for North Dakota soybeans for human consumption, animal feed, and commercial use has never been greater. Checkoff dollars, investing in a profitable future for North Dakota soybean farmers.
Total Ag Industries is the leader in total control. Total Ag offers the latest and greatest in seeds from Legend and Wensman. Featuring the newest in cutting-edge seed technologies and access to every genetic and seed trait platform, Total Ag can help you choose the seed that's right for your specific field, leading the way to better yields and more profit. Contact Total Ag Industries by phone or visit totalag.com.
American dairy prices are down and surpluses are up, but the dairy industry remains optimistic. Mikkel Pates found that even in this downturn, experts say it's a good time to increase dairy production and marketing.
Producers attending the Central Plains Dairy Expo in Sioux Falls heard some difficult supply and demand figures, but are also looking ahead to a brighter day.
All commodity markets are in a downturn right now. I think that we're sowing the seeds of recovery, so I'm not opposed to increasing processing capacity in the long run. If we are going to grow production, we either need to grow domestic consumption for dairy or we need to export more. Fortunately, domestic demand for dairy is growing. On the export side of things, it's a little bit tougher. There is plenty of dairy products in the world to compete with ours.
We're all in a race to feed a hungry world, and with increased population, that demand is going to be there. Right now, we're kind of in a little hiccup. We're in it for the long haul, So we got to ride them ups and downs.
But I'm optimistic about the future of dairy demand. We make a great healthy product that people love to eat, and the global population is growing and we need to feed them. I think there are opportunities, but we are in a commodity market downturn and a period of surplus. So we're not going to solve those problems overnight.
If the Central Plains Dairy Expo is any indication, dairy will stay a big part of South Dakota for a good long time to come. For AgWeek and AgweekTV, this is Mikkel Pates in Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
The U.S. dairy industry exports about 15% of its production, but with the strong dollar, it will be tough to increase that number. Scheibe says both North and South Dakota have room for growth in the dairy industry, where dairy farms are not as concentrated. The dairy industry depends on a large number of Latino workers, and communication is a big factor in that relationship. Maristela Rovai and Carla Hernandez hosted a workshop at the Dairy Expo. They work with Latino employees on South Dakota dairy farms. There are about 1,700 Latino employees on 260 farms, and that number is expected to grow. But workers and employers have to understand each other and their culture.
My intention was to show them what is the American culture, and for the owners and herdsmen and managers to understand also their culture.
Just to make them feel like the work they do in the dairy industry is just as much as important as the producer or the manager of the farm. I mean, they need to know that the work they do is just priceless and we can't go any further without their hands.
Every fall, Rovai teaches a dairy Spanish course to help with communication and cultural barriers. Coming up on AgweekTV, the importance of your horse's dental health. We'll talk to an equine dentist. But first, farmers eager to get out in the fields got a chilly setback this week. Will the upcoming week be better? Your planting outlook is next.
I look down the line and I see every step this window goes through and the people that help create it. I love working with a team that truly cares about helping make true Minn Kota windows.
Skag, the toughest name in lawnmowers. Unmatched quality and performance for over 3 decades. The clear choice, the best mower money can buy for work or at home. Top lawn care professionals and discerning homeowners know that Skag means productivity and reliability. Every Skag mower is proudly built right here in the USA. Don't settle for anything less than simply the best. Skag.
Contact your nearest dealer or call North Country Marketing.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
This is Dennis Belisky reminding you we do auctions and we do them well. You've built your operation with hard work, and when it's time to sell, all or part, you deserve the best. Details from repairs and preparation to promotion and settlements are not routine. Chances are you'll only do this once, so we'll tailor an auction just for you and get it done right. On-site at your farm or added to one of our highly successful Alaris Center auctions, we have the skill, reputation, and integrity to meet your needs with best-in-class commitment and quality service. Find us at resourceauction.com or call 701-757-4015.
Time to demand more. With Micro Essentials, you get more from every acre. Through our fusion technology, only Micro Essentials combines 4 vital nutrients into 1 powerful granule, ensuring uniform nutrient distribution and increased nutrient uptake. The innovation behind our fusion technology means you'll grow stronger, healthier plants. Micro Essentials. Get more from every acre.
Quality is not a word we take lightly. From the materials we use down to the details, it's always been about building something the right way. That's how you know it's a true Minn Kota window.
Weather portion of Ag Week now. You know, talking about soil moisture, an interesting little fact about soil moisture is that it's actually not that easy to get a good determination of where soils are wet and dry. There are lots of different ways, but they mean different things, and it's not just a very easy thing to do. We can measure the soil moisture in spots, but that's fairly sporadic. We don't have a lot of soil moisture measuring kits all over the world. And the other thing is, so how else do you do it? Precipitation, ongoing precipitation, past precipitation. What is it that makes an area dry? Well, this is an experimental product, a fairly new one, and it's an interesting way of looking at it. It's been developed by the University of Washington, and it's called the surface water model. And what it actually is doing is it's taking a look at the amount of surface water. It's based on recent rainfall, it's based on soil measurements and a few other things. And the scale is basically this. Wherever you see white, we're going back to all the way back to 1916. We're somewhere between the 30th and the 70th percentile of what we typically would see for soil moisture. When you start getting into these yellows and these browns, and especially the dark brown and the red, now we're up in like the 5th percentile. So, for example, right here in Stutzman and Kidder County in eastern North Dakota, it's pretty dry. It's pretty wet down here around Sioux Falls, northwest Iowa, up through central Minnesota. That's that area right in through here, which basically was the storm track this winter. A lot of snowfall in this region, very little moisture from snow, and so far not a lot of rain across much of North Dakota, northern South Dakota, and northwest Minnesota. But do bear in mind that it is still just April. Average annual moisture doesn't really start usually kicking in until May. Last year we were very dry in the spring, and then May happened, and a lot of the area, especially in North Dakota, actually became quite wet and stayed that way for much of the summer based on May. So it's a little early to panic yet. Forecast for this week, fairly dry, fairly mild across the northern plains. Looks stormy weather again across the south. The southwest, California, southern California, may be looking at some moisture this week. This will be thunderstorms, maybe some snow up north of the Great Lakes, and as I said, generally pretty dry across most of the northern plains for this week. Second week, now this is interesting. The models are suggesting some moisture into the northern plains. Pacific Northwest looks wet next week. Southwest back to its typical dry for the middle to latter part of April. Stormy weather in the mid-south, and a distinct possibility, if the models are correct, of a chance at some cold rain or wet snow in some parts of the northern plains. But this time of year, forecasting is extremely difficult. It has been said April forecasting, in fact, is probably the hardest of the year.
In today's marketplace, maximizing your harvest is more valuable than ever. Improve the efficiency of your operation by adding a Crary air reel to your harvester today. A continuous stream of high-velocity air quickly feeds crop back to the auger, getting your crop off the cutter bar and into the header. This minimizes shattering and reduces the amount of header loss. At harvest time, every second counts and every bean counts, so you can count on Crary.
Where do you go for the latest news in agriculture? AgWeek Magazine. Reaching over 30,000 farmers and ranchers in North Dakota, Minnesota, South Dakota, and Montana. AgWeek provides the most up-to-date information on the markets, the trends, and the people who make it all happen. We're your source for news, not fluff. Dependable, trusted, AgWeek. Subscribe today by calling 1-800-811-2580.
We believe in a fair and balanced approach to state and federal regulation. Proposed changes to OSHA's anhydrous ammonia policy, EPA's Waters of the U.S., the Clean Air Act, and endangered species are a few examples of what we are facing. The one-size approach doesn't work for North Dakota. Agriculture Commissioner Doug Goring wants to work with you to protect our state. Go to our website to see the latest issues that affect not only agriculture today, but for future generations.
Commitment. You need it to succeed on the farm. It's total dedication to the land, family, and community. It's more than a way to make a living. It's a way of life. You've had it since the first time you ran your hands through the soil, helped bale hay, or rode along in the combine. Your commitment. It's as strong as your family's trust, as honest as each long day you put in, and as pure as the opportunity that comes with every tomorrow. It's how we build our bins. With proven design, superior structural integrity, a lifetime warranty, and a promise to stand with you, no matter what storms come your way. The harvest will always be protected, so you can sell when it's right for you, your family, and your farm. Commitment. It's why we can say, there's nothing standard about superior.
AgweekTV, sponsored by Peterson Farm Seed.
Because of a technical problem, some of you weren't able to watch Ag Week last week. So we wanted another chance to bring you this story about a rare profession, veterinarians who specialize in equine dentistry. So if you've ever wondered what it looks like inside a horse's mouth, here's your chance.
I'm going to go ahead and listen to his heart, lungs, gut sounds, make sure everything sounds good for sedation. And I'll give him some sedation in here and we'll walk him in the trailer.
Dr. Laura Lynn Keener owns Northwind Equine Veterinary Dentistry in Duluth, Minnesota. She spends much of her time traveling between North Dakota, Minnesota, and the western edge of Wisconsin.
It's okay, love. Climb on in.
Checking on horses' mouths and teeth.
The more I learned about teeth, the more fascinated I was by how dynamic their mouth is and how important, good dental health is for all species, definitely for our horses. He has what's called malocclusions, or teeth that aren't coming together like they should, where he gets long in the front. So these teeth should not hang down like little saber teeth in the front. They should be fairly level. So we're gonna work on leveling those out today.
Rowdy is in for the first time, and he has a few things Dr. Keener says need to be taken care of.
So where my right thumb is here, that is an unerupted wolf tooth and it wiggles around under the gum. You can see if the bit came and pinched that tissue between it and that tooth, it'd be irritating. So I'm going to block that area, make it numb, and we'll take that tooth out at the end here.
I had no idea that he had any issues. Peace of mind, and the horses are hopefully going to thank me for it.
This won't hurt them. It feels weird and it's loud, as long as I'm careful about what I'm doing. Now that is not smoke pouring out of his mouth, it's tooth dust. It's a common question.
Rowdy is already not feeling any pain. Before he steps foot in the trailer, he's lightly sedated to help him through the process.
I think it's kind of like being very drunk or like having laughing gas. They're aware and they can learn. You can teach them to be good or bad clients to a certain extent, based on how you handle them, but I think it does have some amnesic properties as well. You know, it doesn't make them trailer shy.
Dr. Keener says all horses need their teeth checked annually, especially young horses.
Young horses under the age of 5, their teeth are sharper, and as they age, they don't develop quite as quickly. So you might not have to do much grinding every year in an older horse, but we want to make sure that they don't have any periodontal disease, broken teeth, or any other problems that would make them less efficient in chewing their feed.
Dr. Keener is known for her calm demeanor, which helps horses that aren't so sure about this.
You know, I don't know that they really enjoy the dental work, but some of them really figure out we're trying to help them. So maybe they're scared or they're really fighting the work at first, and we just kind of work with them and try to help settle them in, and then suddenly a light goes off and they figure out, hey, this is feeling better. Something that's hurt for a while feels better. And they kind of take this big breath and they step forward and just totally relax into it.
In fact, some of her best patients have the most problems.
I had one little mini donkey I was working on a 1.5 years ago or so. He'd been in pain for a while and he was just a star for me to work on him. I think he figured out I was helping him. He reached over and kind of grabbed my glove, so I pulled it down. He started licking my hand. About broke my heart. He just kind of said, thank you, thanks for helping. We extracted that upper wolf tooth.
Dr. Keener says there are very few people who specialize in equine dentistry around the world, and her practice is very popular with horse owners. And she admits it always makes for great conversation.
But most people are pretty fascinated and want to hear more about what I do, and then they just kind of shake their head and laugh.
Dr. Keener says equine veterinary dentistry is a growing field. There are only 12 vets around the world who are board certified, but programs are underway to encourage more to specialize in the field. Still ahead on Ag Week TV, ag students get a chance to show off their skills.
How did we become the region's largest independent seed company? By taking a very simple but powerful stand. We will sell no seed that we wouldn't be happy to plant on our own farm. Peterson Farm Seed. Stand tall.
I'm Jenny Garth, and as a mother of 3, I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. But here in America, that is a real worry for 1 in 5 children. This is unacceptable, and something Feeding America is working to solve. Through a nationwide network of food banks, Feeding America serves virtually every community in the United States, including yours. See how you can help your community. Visit feedingamerica.org. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
Progressive Ag Law has partnered with many farmers on ag legal matters, and now they're ready to fight for you. According to the National Grain and Feed Association, when Syngenta varieties were rejected by China in 2013, farmers lost 11 to 50 cents a bushel due to the price drop. Since all U.S. corn farmers were hurt, every corn farmer has a potential claim for financial damages against Syngenta. You shouldn't have to pay for Syngenta's mistake. Every progressive ag lawyer has a strong background in agricultural law and is ready to stand with you against Syngenta, who pursued their profits at your expense. All costs are paid for by the legal team on a contingency basis. They don't get paid unless you get paid. Visit them online at progressiveaglaw.com or call 1-800-450-1404. Progressive Ag Law. Ag Law is our focus.
Where do you go for the latest news in agriculture? Agweek Magazine. Reaching over 30,000 farmers and ranchers in North Dakota, Minnesota, South Dakota, and Montana. Agweek provides the most up-to-date information on the markets, the trends, and the people who make it all happen. We're your source for news, not fluff. Dependable, trusted, Agweek. Subscribe today by calling 1-800-811-2580. Ag students at SDSU recently took part in the 93rd Little International. It's a completely student-run ag show and is the largest in the country. The 2-day expo gives high school and college students a chance to show off all the hard work they've done throughout the year and compete in livestock showing and judging contests.
It's always been just structured around students in agriculture having a way for when they get back to college to still be part of showing and to expand their leadership skills a little bit, but also have a lot of fun at a 2-day event.
The first Little I was held in 1921 and only canceled 3 times for a scarlet fever outbreak in 1926 and twice during World War II. If you've ever wondered why they call it Little I, it was patterned after the Chicago International Livestock Expo. This week's photo of the week comes from Doug Tesher near Medora, North Dakota. It's not what you might think. That's not a calf near that cow. Look closely. It's a foal. Doug says his mare was having trouble giving birth and was tired out. He says a couple of his cows came in to help lick the newborn. He says it's something he's never seen in his many years of raising horses and cattle. Next is a shot of mother and baby. Doug says both are doing fine. If you want to see your ag photos on AgweekTV, email your photo and a description of what's happening in the picture to photos@agweek.com. Thanks for watching this week's edition of AgweekTV. Remember, for all your ag news, go to agweek.com. We'll see you next week.